Evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Taylor Johnson. In just 4 days, 911 phone lines in Nebraska went out twice. They're back up and running now, but the incident making officials wonder how to keep it from happening again. 6 News' Bella Caracta is on your side with how it started.
We've never had a fire in that building before. Nothing like this, no. Nothing like this.
At least 4 counties in southeast Nebraska experienced a 911 outage Saturday due to a fire at a Windstream data center in Lincoln.
Our transformer in the basement blew, and we had Lincoln Fire and Rescue on site.
It follows a different major outage on Thursday with the company Lumen. That 12-hour outage affected more than half of the centers across the state.
I've been here 26 years, and in my history here, we have never had an outage of this magnitude or this length.
6 News asked Windstream what went down behind the scenes, leaving 4 Nebraska counties without 911. When the fire broke out, the generator switched on. When the generator went out, batteries took over. Eventually, they had to turn off part of the system as they were making repairs.
We have 3 switches that operate in the state, in the southeast corner of the state that cover that phone and internet traffic. And when we shut down the one, it impacted the customers in those 4 counties.
The state's 911 department director released this statement Sunday, saying in part, any investigation will look into what led to this disruption in 911 service and will focus on available backup systems and identifying solutions moving forward to mitigate future issues. When asked if Windstream knew how to prevent an outage happening in the future, they said,
it'd be too early for me to say what we might be able to do in the future, but that's certainly something that we'll do. Investigate and come up with a solution.
On your side in Omaha, Bella Caracta, 6 News.
Authorities are now recommending everyone have their county non-emergency number saved on their phone just as a backup.